Welcome to a fashion doll shoes tutorial.
In this video I'm going to show you how to make a one-piece pattern for ankle boots. And the catch is that the boots have open heels and open toes, because if you want to make proper well-fitting ankle boots you need to have a back seam here because of this curve. But if you leave the heels and toes open, then you can make the upper in one piece, and you can use thicker materials. And that's really the reason why I want to make a one-piece pattern, because the material I'm using, it would be very difficult to glue the back seam when using it, and I really don't like hand sewing the back seams of the boots, although I have done it once, but I prefer glue. And the insoles for the boots will be these, which I made in an earlier video. And I'm using fabric for making the pattern because it's easier. And this is from an old bed sheet, and it works fine for the purpose. First thing you need to do is draw a straight line here. This will be in the back, in the middle. Put it there, and then you cut it a bit, almost to the halfway, and place it here. Then we'll check. It needs to be, when you put it here, the line will be here, and the fabric needs to be tightly against the foot here, and then you need extra fabric here, so I need to cut a bit more to get some fabric to work with. Okay, still, yeah, and that's basically, the length is just fine. Then, to make things a bit easier, I'm going to pin this together here so it will stay in place. And the first thing to draw is the opening here in the heel. You just make it round like this, and you can vary the size of the opening, but this is usually enough. And then I'm going to draw a line here showing where the edge of the foot goes. It will help when cutting this. And see, there's a lot of extra here, so we can just cut that away at this point. Makes it easier to handle. And then you need to decide how big the toe opening will be. It's here, toes. Make it smaller first, and then you can make it bigger later, but start with the smallest you think you want, and then just modify it as needed. And we can also draw here how much we cut away from this. A little at first, and then we'll just adjust that as needed. But first we'll just cut away the excess, and it will be easier to do the fine-tuning after that. Here. Okay. And the toes are there. Well, let's see what it looks like. Oh, I forgot to cut that front. Extra bit. So check that the line is in the middle there. Okay. That one is in a strange angle. Just cut from there. And you don't need quite this much here at the bottom, so we'll take that. This part will be adjusted when making the boots, so you can leave some extra there just in case. The other side. And check that the line is in the middle there. And the next thing we could do is check the upper edge, and it could be adjusted a little, so it will be straight. There. And the question is the opening for the toes the right size, or should it be bigger? I think it's fine. And then this front needs a bit more taken away. This is really just checking and cutting a little, and checking and cutting a little. And if you cut too much, just trace the pattern to another piece of fabric and correct what went wrong, and then continue. Yeah. And it's otherwise fine, but it still needs to be these boots will have holes here in the front edge for what, now I can't remember the word, laces, yeah, laces. Just got a bit black out there. Still, no, I think that's actually just the right amount. Just needs a bit remove from there. The angle here isn't quite right, so just cut a bit from there, and that was not quite straight. So and it looks like it could work. So let's see in front. It needs to be a bit lower there on the front. It's almost just a little bit. That looks okay now, and then you need to trace the pattern onto paper, because it'll be easier to use when it's stiffer. This fabric is so soft that it's hard to keep it in place on the material when cutting. So paper or cardstock is better for the actual pattern, but in this stage when you make the pattern, fabric is easier because it's more like the final material you're going to use. Paper is a bit too stiff for forming the pattern. But there it is, it's in one piece, so you can use thick material and there will be no seams. The only problem you may face is when folding these edges under the insoles, like this. When, let's see if I hold it in place. They go here, and it's mostly in straight line, and in fact it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And if it is, you can always cut this back a little so that this edge is here before this curve, because curves are always difficult when using thick materials. But I'm going to show you how to make the boots, so we'll see then how this works.